how I turned this blue American Express card, a business card, no personal guarantees, no personal credit, how I got this card for $9,000 credit limit. I'm going to show you all that and more.
Day I'm hustling, 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 hustling,
It's your
hustling,
boy,
hustling, 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 hustling. Every
What's going on? It's your boy Ski. Today, we're going to be talking about business credit, why it's important, how to use it to your advantage, how to set it up, how to help you to learn from the mistakes that I learned and expedient your process. All right, so what is business credit? You don't need to have, first of all, you don't need to have some mega corporation or some corporation to sign you on. Any sort of side hustle you do qualifies you as self-employed. This could be walking dogs, Uber, DoorDash, e-commerce, it doesn't matter. Any of these can classify you as a business. Okay, when I first learned about this, I read about it in a book by Robert Kiyosaki. And Robert Kiyosaki has thousands and thousands of rental properties now. But his very first rental property, he actually bought with a business credit card. And I did not know that this was even a thing. So when I learned about this, I became like literally obsessed with this idea of being able to acquire business credit so I can have capital to grow my business. Okay, so let's talk about some of the benefits. The benefits are there is no personal guarantees, meaning it does not affect your personal credit. If you do it correctly, you will not guarantee it personally. And even if you do have to personally guarantee it, if you don't do it the way I'm going to teach you how to do it, it only reports if you default. Meaning if you have $1,000 personal credit card and you use $500 of it, that's going to affect your credit negatively because your debt to income ratio is too high. But if you have a business credit card and you use all 1,000 of it, it won't affect your debt to income so long as you make your payments. This is great news. They also have much higher limits. Like after you get past a certain threshold, the limits are $10, $15, $20, $25, $50,000. A lot of times they have 12, 18, even 24 month no APR. They have much better rewards, business perk, travel, you name it. There's many benefits to getting business credit. The main one for me is a safety between your business and your personal assets. Knowing that if something were to happen and this goes south, none of my personal assets are going to be affected by this. And to me, like, this is the biggest thing. So, what do you need to do to make this happen? How do you get started? Well, step number one, you have to open up an EIN. You go to irs.gov. It's completely free. Don't use the other BS sites. All these different companies will try to charge you like $50 or what have you. Don't do that. Go to irs.gov during business hours. I don't know why it's during business hours, but it is. It's during business hours, and you sign up for an EIN. This is basically your Social Security for your business. Then you take that number and you register it with Duns & Bradley. Okay? Duns & Bradley is the main player of business credit. They're basically like TransUnion or Equifax of business credit. This is the main player. So you're registering your business social with the main player who's going to report your good transaction. Okay? And within 48 hours, you will be ready to take the next step. Now, a bonus tip is to get an LLC or an S corporation or something like that. You don't have to. It's just added credibility as well as the main thing is the safety net between your personal assets and you. You want to keep as many barriers between business and home. So, after you do that, the magic number is 10. And once you have 10 accounts, That's the equivalent of having like a 740 personal credit. You're at that upper threshold where you can pretty much dictate your terms. Now, your first three, I would say, are sort of pay to play, okay? And you got to get what's called a net 30 account. That means you have 30 days from the time you purchase to pay off the entire invoice. So if you have a $500 invoice, you have 30 days to pay that entire invoice off. Now, business credit is not the same as personal credit. Personal credit is like, if you have a $500 bill, as long as you pay it before it's due, it's good. You don't want to do that with business credit. You want to pay it as soon as you can, because if you just pay it on time, that'll give you an 80 out of 100. But if you pay it early, you can get that 90, 100 out of 100. Okay, so your first three good ones are like Uline, Shirtsy, things like that. Just net 30 accounts. These accounts, I'm going to link some down in below. But you're going to have to pay like $50 or $100 and they will actually report. And then after that, I would say your fourth one is like for me, it was like the first actual useful one. And that's the Amazon Net 60 account. It's the same thing as a Net 30, except you have 60 days. Plus you have, this one was like $2,500 for me. And I had 60 days. You could buy anything from Amazon. This was really clutch. Now, this is when it starts getting good. After you have 4 accounts, you can pretty easily get this card right here. The Business Prime American Express card. This one, I believe, came with a $3,500 limit. You get 5% cash back on anything that you use on Amazon. They also have cash back for restaurants and gas. It's not as high, but it's still good. You can also have the option to change if you say you have a big purchase and you don't want it to be on a revolving or whatever. You can choose to make it a net 90 for individual purchases. This card is super hefty. It just has like a good feel to it. So that's card number 5. You can also, before that, you can get Lowe's. You can get a net 60 with Lowe's, about 3 or 4 accounts deep. Office Depot is about that 3 to plus range. They're a good one. And then after that, you can just stack these gas cards up. You can get Sunoco. The name of the game is just get 10 accounts. Okay, so you can get Sunoco. You can get Fuel Man, Fleet. You can get. I have the Pilot one, which is it's $4,000, and it's actually you can use any Flying J or Pilot, and it is you can use it for gas as well as like service. If you need an oil change, tire, whatever, you can use it for that. And then you can use all these gas cards to pretty much get you to like card 8, 9. And once you get to 9, you can go to Sam's Club. You have to have a Sam's Club membership, but you can get their revolving line of credit, which you can use anywhere, which is about $8,000. And then card number 10 of no personal guarantees. I haven't used any personal credit this way. And this card gave me a $9,000 credit limit, as well as they gave me 12 months of 0% interest, which is great. Now from this point, I need to establish good payment history with these companies, and this is when it really starts to snowball and you get bigger and bigger limits. And you'll notice along the way, you'll be getting bigger and bigger limits. But the name of the game is 10 accounts. Once you get to 10, that's the magic number. And although you sort of have to pay to play or what have you in the beginning, try to use stuff that will actually help your business grow, especially after you have those first 2 or 3 accounts. Because once you have it's sort of like when you're first building credit and you got to get a secure credit card to build that credit. It's like the same thing for business credit. But once you have like 2 of these, you're good. Like, I would try to only use stuff that you'll actually use moving forward. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. You don't need a huge business. You don't have to have you don't have to personally guarantee it, which is like the best part in my opinion. You have to like sort of cipher through when you're filling out these applications. They'll prompt you a lot of times to personally guarantee it. Just check the box. Sometimes it'll like mandate you. You can, in this instance, you can actually fill out the application all the way, and then when you go to submit it, don't submit it. Someone will like always call you, and then you just tell them on the phone that you don't want to submit a personal guarantee. Also, it's a really good idea to have good relationships with Chase, American Express, these bigger vendors. Like open up a bank account with them, and establish that history with them, because you're more likely to get approved later on down the road. The great thing about American Express is they actually only, even if you do a personally guarantee or like, you know, a personal credit card with American Express, they actually only do one credit pull ever, and then they just go off of your history with them. So no matter how many cards in the future you do, it's just a soft pull, which is really good. You don't want them hard inquiries. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Comment down below, like, subscribe. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be posting all kinds of all finance related, whether it's gold, silver, Bitcoin, credit, real estate, you name it. We'll talk about it. You know, I would say in closing that anybody can do this. This stuff is simple. You don't have to have a huge business or, you know, even great credit for that matter. It's not necessarily easy, but it's very simple. So if you just follow the steps, if you really hit it hard, I would say it could take you 4 to 6 months. I sort of lollygagged with it and just did it in passing, and it took me a little over a year, and that's fine with me. So that's it for this time. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. If you're new here, subscribe. Till next time, peace, love, prosperity.
Day I'm hustling, 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 hustling,
It's your
hustling,
boy,
hustling,
Ski.
hustling, 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 hustling.